Hi, good afternoon, everyone. We'll just wait for another 5 minutes till the people join in. Okay. Hi, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Dr. Kritika Bolia, consultant physiotherapist at Motherhood Hospital, Pune. I have done my master's of physiotherapy in obstetrics and gynecology. I'm a certified prenatal postnatal fitness expert and a certified childbirth educator. I have around 8 years of experience, and we will be talking about breathing techniques and Lamaze exercises for normal delivery. So, to begin with, what are the benefits of having a normal delivery as compared to the other modes of delivery? Let's discuss few points about the same. So the first thing, if you are going for a normal delivery, you are putting yourself at less risk, especially associated with instruments used for a C-section delivery, because there are chances of infection for mother as well as for the baby when you undergo a cesarean section. Also, if you go for normal delivery, quicker recovery for mother and a shorter hospital stay. As everyone is aware, when you go for C-section, which is a surgery, you need at least 3 days of hospital stay. Whereas if you go for normal delivery or if you deliver normally, the hospital stay is just limited to 24 hours or maximum 48 hours. Better immunity of baby. Now when we are talking about immunity of the baby, when the baby passes through the birth canal, because of the uterine contractions, because of all the natural microbes and bacteria present in the vagina of the mother, which gets transferred to the baby. Now, this boosts up the immunity of the baby. So, babies who are born through normal delivery have a better immunity as compared to the babies born through other modes of delivery. Also, there are lower risk of respiratory complications in babies who are naturally or normally delivered. Now, since the uterine contractions, they help to prepare the baby's lungs for respiration. So, as the baby is passing through the birth canal, is coming out, the contractions really help baby's lungs to expand, and it's then where the baby starts breathing and the lungs get functioning. So, of course, babies born normally have a better respiratory system, and there are less risk of respiratory complications in such babies. Also, it has been observed that normal delivery stimulates early and effective lactation, because the birthing process activates numerous natural and mothering hormones, whether it's prolactin, whether it's oxytocins, everything helps the mother to establish a successful breastfeeding. So this is also a major benefit of normal delivery, whereas as compared to mothers who deliver babies through cesarean sections, they have little difficulty in establishing a successful breastfeeding, because the hormones while you are delivering normally, they really encourages you, and the baby establishes latch effectively, and hence is breastfeeded better. Now, talking about Lamaze. So, people often confuse Lamaze with breathing technique. That whenever we talk about Lamaze, they think Lamaze is just a breathing technique, but breathing is part of Lamaze. It's not Lamaze, but it is just a part of Lamaze. Lamaze is much more than breathing. So, what is Lamaze? Lamaze is basically a childbirth preparation method, and it's one of the most popular and most successful methods of childbirth preparation. So, the goal of Lamaze class is to increase women's confidence and in their ability to give birth. So we empower the expecting couple through various sessions of these Lamaze classes, where we teach them a lot of labor coping techniques, which includes breathing technique, of course. Breathing is an important tool of Lamaze technique. And apart from breathing, movements and positionings, or the role of partner, how the partner is supposed to support you, massage you. We do teach a lot of relaxation techniques, and there are a lot of postures which can help you to relax and sail through this entire labor process smoothly, and can therefore increase the chances of normal or natural delivery. Now let's talk about what breathing exercises one should be doing in pregnancy. We will be specifically talking about normal delivery as well, but let's start with what breathing exercises you should be practicing throughout the pregnancy. Because breathing exercises, a lot of pregnant mothers, they have breathlessness issue or shortness of breath early in their first trimester itself. Now, how one can help to decrease the breathlessness issue is by practicing breathing exercises. And in fact, breathing exercise is a great way to reduce stress and anxiety also. And this can be incorporated into your daily living through all stage of pregnancy. And this can be practiced even in postpartum period. Now, it is believed that those who start practicing breathing techniques from early stages of pregnancy, like from the first trimester itself, are in more control of labor and have an easy labor. So, what breathing exercises you can do is breathe, deep breathing. So, deep breathing exercise can be practiced anywhere, any time of the day, or probably you can select one particular time of the day and you can do at that time. So all you need to do is you just need to be comfortably seated, and you have to inhale through your nose and exhale through your mouth. Now this really helps you to improve your lung capacity, to improve the oxygenation to the baby and to you. This is one of the most simplest and most effective of all the breathing exercises. And as soon as you enter into your first trimester or before that as well, you can start doing it, because most of you start facing shortness of breath due to the structural and the hormonal changes. As the uterus pushes your diaphragm up, the lungs do not get enough space to expand. That is the reason why most of the mothers feel difficult to breathe, and they are always taking this long breaths. Also, this is the solution. Deep breathing exercise is the solution when you are in stress, when you are anxious, or when you are tired and fatigued. So this can be done any time of the day, and this really helps you to beat anxiety and stress also. Now, this will keep you calm and relaxed. Next comes our diaphragmatic breathing, which involves the mother to put their one hand over the chest and the other hand over the belly. Again, you need to be comfortably seated for this. If you have any back pain issues, I would recommend to take some back support and do it. So all you have to do is you have to inhale through your nose, and as you are inhaling, you need to feel your hand movement, and you have to exhale slowly through your mouth. So while you are breathing in and out, you got to feel your hand movement. Okay, so that's how you can make sure that you are inhaling enough oxygen, not only for you but for your baby. And this would also helps you to be more conscious and oriented. The next one comes is belly breathing. This really helps you to bond you and to your baby. Okay, so again, for this, both your hands should be on the belly, and with eyes closed, you have to inhale slowly while taking your belly out, and as you exhale, you have to make sure that the belly goes in. So this helps you to connect to your baby in the womb. Pranayam now, most of you are aware about pranayam. It includes the different yogic breathing techniques which allow you to develop natural, controlled deep breathing pattern. So mostly the two with common type of pranayam techniques, that is alternate nostril breathing, or commonly known as anulom vilom, can be practiced, and this really cleanses your entire body. Apart from this, you can practice ujjayi breathing, or the ocean breath, which we usually call as, where you have to inhale through your nose and exhale through mouth while making a ocean sound, while making that wave sound. So a long, strong, deep breath which helps you to focus on the present moment and maintain yourself calm and relaxed. And of course, anulom vilom, or alternate nostril breathing, all of you are aware of that. You have to close your one nostril through your thumb, and you have to inhale. And while you are inhaling, for exhaling, you have to close the nostril from where you inhale and exhale from the other. Same way you have to be keep doing it. Also, you can do the Brahmari Pranayam, which is known as bee breath technique. It involves breathing in slowly through your both the nostrils, and while exhaling, you need to use your throat to make a soft sound like the buzzing of a bee. So the sound really comes from your throat, and you have to make that while exhaling. And for this, you can even you can have your fingers on your eyes and your thumbs just around your ear cartilage, not inside the ears but around your ear cartilage, and you have to just inhale, and while exhaling, so you have to make this buzzing bee sound. So this is also very relaxing breathing technique, and it really gives you the control. So actually, pranayam, this balances your body energy flows. It creates a balance, a sense of harmony between your physical and your mental setup. It helps you to release all the stress related to pregnancy, or all the tensions and headache, and brings a more mental and emotional balance. But yes, there are few specific pranayam techniques which you have to avoid in pregnancy. For example, Vastrika and Kapalbhati, which is not recommended in pregnancy. Okay, so make sure you follow only what is safe in pregnancy. Now, what is Lamaze breathing? So, the whole Lamaze concept was introduced in 1960 by Dr. Fernand Lamaze, who was a French obstetrician, and he taught how you can use your own techniques and tools and empower yourself. And this involves rhythmic breathing pattern or techniques which emphasize active concentration and promotes relaxation. So these Lama's childbirth classes, they teach you or teach the expectant mothers or couples many ways to work with labor process to reduce the pain associated with childbirth and promote natural birth, including the first moments of afterbirth. So the techniques include allowing labor to begin on its own, or movement and positions, massage, aromatherapy, hot and cold packs, use of birthing ball, then spontaneous pushing, etc., etc. So this focuses on breathing techniques for labor with other relaxation methods such as guided imagery and visualization. So this really helps you to become confident, not only you but your partner as well, so that even the partner can support you well throughout the labor process. We also teach you what type of or what exact breathing you are supposed to follow in different stages of labor. Now, as we all know, labor is a long process and it varies from person to person, right? Like somebody had a very short 2 hours of labor, and somebody had a long, like 36 hours of labor. So the journey is different for each and every one. And labor has various stages that can be different for different women. So we teach you what exact breathing you're supposed to follow in all 3 stages of labor to make it more easy and smooth for you. Now, talking about the benefits of breathing exercise, of course, the first one is that there's better oxygenation to the mother and to the baby. And also, breathing becomes an automatic response to the pain. So, when we're talking about breathing exercises and labor, because everybody associate labor with just pain, but when you are already prepared how to manage or tackle that pain, it becomes easy for you. And the first thing comes is here the breathing exercise. Even in a normal situation, in normal stress, for a non-pregnant person as well, if we are into a stressful situation or we are in a panicky situation, what we do is we start breathing like this, and this really makes us feel calm. So that's how we teach you in Lama sessions that how breathing can become an automatic response to pain. And it also offers relaxation. It helps to learn a steady pattern of breathing that calms you during labor. Breathing makes contractions more productive. So we will teach you what breathing you're supposed to do in what stage of labor. So there is like he hoo breathing, or there is pant blow, or there is also this J breath, which is known as transition breath, which you're supposed to do it while pushing during the pushing phase of labor. So that's how the labor can become more yielding. Also, breathing provides a sense of well being and a measure of control. It de stresses and helps you to stay calm. The most important point. Now, let's talk about exercises in pregnancy. So, one should be exercising throughout pregnancy to keep herself fit. You can start from your first trimester itself, but first trimester you have to be little more slow, casual, and safe. You should avoid the high intensity or vigorous exercises, but you can do the breathing exercises, the shoulder, the upper body exercises, and little back exercises. But please avoid any vigorous exercises because pregnancy is still establishing. So usually the proper prenatal sessions we start from 4th month or your second trimester, and make sure you take your doctor's consent before you start doing it. but the exercises really help you to prevent excessive weight gain. So everybody is aware that you tend to put on during pregnancy, all three trimester, but through exercises we will make sure that the weight gain is in particular range, that is the healthy weight gain, not less than that, not more than that. Also, it prepares mother's body for a normal delivery that we just discussed. It reduces labor pain. It's been researched, surveyed, and studied about that. Women who had been exercising throughout their pregnancy or who have been active throughout their three trimesters, they had a shorter labor and an easy labor. Also, it improves circulation and keeps the heart rate stable. So this is important because your circulation to the baby and to your body parts is also important. It improves stamina and makes you more flexible. It helps you to recover quickly post delivery. So for all those who worry about their postpartum fat or toning of the body or belly fat, they should be exercising from their pregnancy itself so that it becomes easy for them to tone their bodies post birth. Also, it reduces chances of high blood pressure and pregnancy induced diabetes, which is common. This is known as gestational diabetes. So, and high blood pressure, we all know about hypertension or eclampsia. So, the risk becomes less if you follow regular exercises in pregnancy. Now, what exercises are going to help you with normal delivery? Specifically, in your last trimester, one should be following them regularly or practicing them religiously. Now, labor is just like a marathon. You cannot run a marathon without preparation. You need to practice, you need to prepare yourself physically, mentally before you run a marathon, right? Same is in labor. One needs to prepare her body physically or prepare herself mentally before going into labor. Now, what all exercises are going to help you with normal delivery? The first one comes is cobbler exercise or the butterfly stretch. As you can see in the picture, this really helps you to open your hips and stretch your pelvic floor muscles, which is important because this creates the space needed for the baby to pass. It helps your pelvis to stretch because pelvis is a bone which has the property to expand, to stretch while you are giving birth normally. So make sure you're sitting comfortable, keep your back straight. If possible, take some back support and then make sure you stretch your knees down. So this butterfly is little different from Baba Ramdev's butterfly. You're not supposed to quickly just keep flapping your knees. The aim is to hold your knees down more. You need to stretch them more so that you feel the stretch at your pelvis, at your thigh muscles. So your muscles around your pelvis should be stretched in this exercise and aim for flexibility by holding your knees down. So next comes is squats. Now everybody talks about it. You know, pregnancy exercise, and the first thing they say mention is squats. But if you have a breech baby or a low-lying placenta, you need to avoid doing squats. But if you everything else is normal, yes, you can start doing squats. Also, while these are the sumo squats, the one shown in picture. Okay, so this again relaxes or stretches your pelvic muscles, and this helps the baby to settle in pelvis. So to have that proper engagement of baby's head into the pelvis, especially required in your last trimester, these kind of squats, which are known as sumo squats, they really work well. And you can perform pelvic circles or tilts also in the same position, but that becomes little challenging. That puts a lot of pressure on your thighs. But if you have been exercising, it is easy for you. Also, while you have to coordinate all these exercises with your breathing movement. So you have to breathe in while going up, coming up, and breathe out while going down. So these were squats. Now deep squats. Again, you have to avoid it if you have breech baby or if you have low lying placenta. But if everything rest is okay, you can perform these deep squats or full squats, also known as malasana. So to make sure that the baby head is properly engaged in pelvis, and this sets the baby in correct position. But for this, the baby should be in vertex position, that the baby's head should be down and no breech baby. Then you can perform deep squats. This work as an hip opener exercise. Also, if you feel doing this little challenging or difficult, what you can do is you can use cushions or pillows below your hips, so that will make it little easy, and you can just touch the edge of your buttocks or your hips on the cushion, so that will give you the support. And at the same time, you can squat by spreading out your feet, and your baby will be in the optimal position. Next is wide leg sitting. This you can do it throughout the, you can do it at any time of the day. Just as in picture, the mother is just talking on phone and stretching herself in this position. So you can do it the same way. You don't need to specifically exercise for this, but you can practice it at least 2-3 times a day. So all you have to do is you can just stretch your legs. Again, you can use cushions or block or a foam to make it more comfortable. But you have to sit and stretch your legs wide in front. Okay, just make sure that your hips are slightly higher than your knees so that your baby aligns well, and that sets your baby in the optimal position. So for that, you can use a cushion below your hips. Okay, and you can even lean forward. You can have a foam roller or a block in front of you, and this way you can stretch the muscles around your pelvis, around your hips. Pelvic tilts. Okay, this is wonderful exercise for back pain as well, commonly known as cat and camel. This relieves back pain and helps you in improving the pelvic mobility. So one has to be on their hands and knees, keeping elbows straight. You have to get into the cat pose, and then gentle transit into camel pose, making a hump or rounding your spine. Also, please make sure you're breathing well while doing this. Okay, next is child pose. This is very relaxing, a very good stretch, also a very good cool down exercise also. So just for a little modification required for pregnant women, because you have a bump or a belly around. So to make sure that the belly is not getting squeezed on the floor, you can just open up your knees. You can open up your knees wide, so that while you are leaning forward, your belly or the bump gets the space. And make sure the hips are down. Hips should be stretched towards the heel. That is when the back is or the spine is going to get the proper stretch. This you can hold in for 10 to 15 seconds, as the mother in the picture is using a cushion or a foam roller. You can similar way, you can also use cushions or pillows, stack them and then lean over them. Okay, so this is going to relax your back and at the same time open up your pelvis. Okay, duck walk and chair lunge specifically for last trimester. What you have to do is you have to make sure that you have a chair in front or a stool, small stool. You have to keep your one leg or one foot over the chair or on the stool, and with one hand you can take wall support, and just slightly you have to bend towards the knee. So you will be stretching that knee which is on the chair, and that is going to stretch your pelvic muscles. That is going to release any pelvic pain or hip pain if you have, and is going to make sure that the baby gets the proper space while coming out. Similarly, duck walk is also supposed to be done post 32nd week, where both the hands on the floor, or you can even take support of bed or dining table edge, your bed edge, and you can just walk like a duck. So this way, just you have to open your feet, open your knees, open your hips, and then walk down. This is a very exhausting exercise because it puts a lot of pressure on your thighs, on your knees. But this is an important exercise for normal delivery because this really helps you to open up your hips and make sure that there's enough space for the baby to come. Okay, last is walking, Kegels, and swimming. So these three exercises. Walking one has to be doing throughout the pregnancy. Your doctor tells you start from your first trimester itself. Walking is wonderful whole body exercise, and this really enhances the blood circulation to your baby also. This will keep you active, keep you fit. So make sure that you are walking around minimum 30-35 minutes throughout the pregnancy. That is the minimum I would say. Kegel exercise is the key exercise for your pelvic floor muscle toning, especially for incontinence issues, for urinary incontinence, that whenever you are laughing, sneezing, there's dribbling of urine. For them to fight that issue, please practice Kegel exercise, which you can again do it any time of the day in any posture. You have to just imagine there is a need for you to pee and you're holding your muscles. So you squeeze those muscles, hold it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and relax. So relaxing is also important. People often misunderstand or confuse with just the holding up part. But when you are in labor, when you are in contractions, the because contractions would happen on their own. So our aim should be how to relax them. That is again when Kegel exercises would really help you or would come in the picture. So learn how to get that control over your pelvic floor muscles, how to squeeze them, contract them, and how to relax them effectively or gently. And swimming, if one is comfortable, they can practice swimming, but make sure about just be little aware of the water hygiene level. And I don't know how much it is safe during COVID times, during this pandemic. So especially because waterborne infections is a thing, so just make sure that it's safe, the water hygiene level is safe, and it is safe for you to swim around, because swimming is again a whole body exercise. It relaxes your joints, it de-stresses you, it calms you, all the cramps which you're having just goes away. So swimming is a very good exercise again. Now, there are few points which you have to remember, like exercise after taking a consent from your doctor. Start with slow and gradually increase the intensity. So, always, if you had been doing exercise before pregnancy, it's okay. But if you just started in pregnancy, start with slow and then gradually increase the intensity. Always exercise under some supervision of qualified prenatal fitness expert or your physiotherapist, because pregnancy is a lot about changes in your body, in your posture. So we don't want to add on to the existing muscle aches and pains. For the same reason, always exercise under supervision. So anything if you do wrong, we can correct you. If your technique, your posture, anything goes wrong, we can help you to correct that. And do not hold your breath during pregnancy. That is also important. Also, make sure there's gap between your meals and exercise. So just wait for a few hours before you start exercises, and check out for any red flags. So if you have hypertension, if you have gestational diabetes, or if you are carrying twins, or if you have low lying placenta, anything of such things, please discuss it out with your prenatal fitness expert before you start with exercises, because this would require certain modifications. And also, please listen to your body, which is very, very important. Let your body be your guide. Okay, please don't go over enthusiastic and try to do things in one go. Just like Rome was not built in one day, please listen to your body, go slow with your body, and be very alert. Now, this was all about the exercises and breathing technique that is going to help you with normal delivery. Any queries or any questions, if you have, you can put it out there in the chat box or in the Q&A box, and I would be happy to answer them. Anything that you want to ask? Any doubts, any queries? Any queries, any questions if you have? All right, thank you so much. White discharge indicate normal delivery. No, that is not a indicator for just normal delivery, but that is an indicate that yes, you are close to your date. And I would like to know first which week are you into, and then I can tell you what is the signal about. Because knowing in which week you are having getting that discharge is more important. But that is not an indicator just for normal delivery. 36th week. Okay. So yeah, labor is near, is you have to be little conscious, and it may start soon. So just be little prepared about it. Also, having said that, these are not indicators for normal delivery, because if everything is okay and going as per the doctor, as per everything is in favor, you never know what might come at last. Okay, there could be any challenges coming up and which could call out for an emergency cesarean. So you need to be aware of both the things. Okay, there could be anything, there could be tight loops around the baby which could suffocate the baby, or there could be fetal distress which might call out for an emergency cesarean. So you have to be prepared accordingly. But yeah, white discharge in your 36th week, yes, you are near to your labor. And get yourself checked. As the head set in the position, is the baby's head engaged, and then you can have your follow up with the doctor. Any other queries, any other questions? I'm in my 35th week, ma'am. I'm getting white discharge after walking and doing exercises. Is that usual? Okay, so Rohini, little discharge is okay, little discharge. But if you're having too much of it, please get yourself checked, or else little discharge in pregnancy is fine. But if you think it is too much and making your walking and daily activities it's interrupting, then go and get yourself checked. Also differentiate between white discharge and mucus plug. Okay, because that is usually reddish brownish thing, sticky thing. So please differentiate between that as well. If it is too little and minute quantity, then yeah, you can continue your routine activities. Okay, any more queries, questions? Queries. Okay, so thank you so much for listening out to me. All right. I will sign it off from here. Thank you so much for listening out. Any queries, if you have, you can still post it there and we will address them. Thank you so much. Please take care and be safe.